Hi, I'm Dennis Hudson at orangequant.com, and it's Saturday afternoon, March 27th, 2010. I want to revisit the Bank of America forecast that was made back on February 16th of this year, and it is on track. It is accurate so far. A part of it extends into April, but we'll come to that. But so far, it's been correct. But first, let me explain partly why I'm doing this. Every once in a while, you notice in life, a detractor will throw you something that is unbelievably good. It just happens. In this case, I had a detractor post a really nasty note on that February 16th, that forecast that was made February 16th. You can find it there. It's way down when you say see all, and it's Bank of America. Yeah, that's what it says, or BAC. Anyway, this person posted a really nasty note, and I'm not going to flame them or anything like that, but it reminded me that I had made the forecast. I had been thinking about it this week, and then I forgot about it. I meant to look in to see how it had been doing, but they caused me to take a hard look at it. So, and then, you know, I'm going to get into what's coming, but hold on. Now, here's what they posted in the comments section of that video, not in the channel comments, but that video. And I thought to myself, whoa, somebody out there is watching. Not after I checked the charts. So they evidently didn't like the fact that I wasn't saying which way April was going. I just said it's, you know, could go up or down. Anyhow, I mean, if you read this thing and then they say, well, your stock prediction fails, well, that, as I say, triggered me to go and look at the video and look at the charts and compare the two. So April could either be up or down. Cool, that makes me want to buy your ebook. Buddy, I really don't care whether you buy it or not, because you obviously aren't paying attention. And folks who don't pay attention are a real pain to deal with after they buy something from you. By the way, there is a nice lady who does not understand inflections, and this is not directed at you. She corresponds regularly with me. Not at all directed at you. You are a brand new trader, and naturally there are things you wouldn't understand, but this is somebody presumably here who ought to know something about the market, and they said this. Okay, so what was my response? Here's my response, and I have flagged the times here so that to save you having to look this up, flag the times, and I'm going to circle those for you. Let's see here. Well, you can see them right there. If you go and you take a listen, watch the video at 5:25, you'll see that February was indeed an inflection. You will see that March was indeed up relative to February, which was the whole point of making the call, and that's at 6:55. And April is an inflection call. We don't know where that, you know, which direction yet, and that's kind of what that poster was beefing about, I guess. And I talked to a buddy of mine, good friend, ex-broker, and he was saying, well, you know, some people just want you to hold their hand and tell them when to pull the trigger. That's not where I want to go, and you know, he was laughing about that. Anyway, you can pause the video and read my response if you want, but now I'm going to show you the chart. Here's your Bank of America monthly chart. Then the forecast, remember, was made way back in the middle of February, February 16, 2010. And what we called for was an inflection in right there in February, and you can see it's an inflection, and I'm going to draw a line here. In this case, it was a downward inflection, and you had a lower low than the previous month and a lower high. I drew that too high. Let me get this right here. And a lower high. So there you are. February was accurate. It was an inflection. March was forecasted to be higher than February. It was not called as an inflection. And you can see right here, here's March. You can see that March was indeed, whoops, that's a line. I do that so often. Meant to draw a circle. March over here has so far, well, is indeed higher. It went up. And presumably that low is not going to dip too far. But anyway, it's higher than the previous month. I mean, I don't know what somebody wants when you get down to it. You tell them what's going to happen, and they either get it or they don't. So, what would you, as an experienced trader, have been able to do with this information? What would the smart trader have done? Alright, basically, this call was made February 16th, and at that time, price was right around $14.50 or $14.50 or $15. Price was right about there. Okay, right at the roughly at the open of that month. All right, so if you knew it was going to be an inflection that month, and price had already, by the way, already been down to this low end and had floated back up, well, gee, you would have gone long and you would have ridden it all the way up. Since it was an inflection, you knew that the next month would be have a higher high and higher low, so you know it'd be above the high. You'd have ridden it up into March like that. I mean, this isn't rocket science. You just follow what it says. Very simple. Or, knowing that March had been called to be higher than February, gee, you could have jumped in at the start of March and simply ridden that up. You'd have made a little less money so far, but you'd have made some money, right? Okay, so we had it right on both counts. All we're waiting for now is to see what happens in April, which is supposed to be an inflection, and we don't know the direction. Although, since we understand and believe, based on synthetic trend lines, that the SPY is about to head south, slide slowly into the sunset, we could almost assume that it could drag back with it. But in my opinion, BAC is kind of a contrarian stock, and I've got burned shorting BAC, so I'm not willing to say which direction that inflection in April is going to come. I have seen BAC run up when every other bank stock was going down. I've seen that happen. So, thank you again, Pres Barkeep, if that's how you say it, for that illuminating bit of misinformation that you posted on the thread, because it caused me to look back and discover, oh yeah, we did call that, and by golly, we've been bang on. Thanks again, buddy. You get it, Guido? We should send him a thank you note.